So, biggest loser of the night. Well, look, it's clearly Ben Carson, but to be fair, he really shouldn't be in the race.
Yes.
They asked him who gets to pick Supreme Court justices according to the Constitution. The Constitution doesn't really speak to that. What? Of course it does.
Yeah.
So anyway,
No, it's just liberal media.
Okay, so that was step one. Step two is, every answer is, I answered the earlier question. And you can go to my website. What are you doing? What are you doing? Get out of the race. Get out of the race. Okay, but once you dispense with that, because he's not really relevant anymore, I think it's the three amigos that are the losers. Cruz, Bush, and Rubio are ripping each other apart, and they're not putting a dent in Trump.
No.
Trump is in an analogy I use too often. He's like that monster in original Star Trek. When you fire the phasers at him, he gets bigger. Like he feeds off the hate and the fear and the energy, right?
Right.
Now I brought Star Wars in as well as Star Trek.
I like it.
Okay, and so they're like, but they're now hitting each other with the phasers, and then next thing you know, they're ripped to shreds. So I thought the three amigos came off poorly tonight. I don't think they put any kind of damage on Trump, and they're now wallowing in the mud, and in the mud, Trump wins.
The only thing, I think you're largely right. I do think that to the extent that we'll have any polls of who actually won this, because we've stopped really looking at those, I think it'll be closer than it usually is because it was just overall so messy. But we have to remember that South Carolina is coming up fast, and South Carolina is amongst the next few distinct for the Republicans because it is a very religious state. Ted Cruz is polling better there than I think any second-place Republican is in the states upcoming. And Ted Cruz did hit him about the pro-choice thing and about the partial birth abortion. And I thought that Trump's response to it, and again, it didn't even have Trump sense. It was just a weak, like, no, I didn't say that. Like, it was, I don't think.
At least he defended that Planned Parenthood does things that are extremely positive for women's health. I was like, sometimes the stuff that comes out of Trump's mouth makes sense.
But for the GOP voters, and I would imagine
Right.
even the guys shooting their guns in the backyard, they don't like Planned
That's why
Parenthood.
he's so
probably.
enigmatic. It's crazy. He'll say stuff like
Yeah.
that.
So I think that Ted Cruz might have gained something, at least in South Carolina. But I think Ben Carson's still biggest loser.
Yeah, no, look, John makes a great point about Ted Cruz. So maybe I should take him out of the loser bracket because that line he landed about how he supported John Kerry, he donated to John Kerry, let alone Hillary Clinton and the others. That's pretty devastating. So, especially in South Carolina, Cruz might have done himself some favors. So, all right, you win. I will amend something you never see on TV. That guy's right, not me. So I'll go Rubio and Jeb Bush. Even when they attack him, those two look particularly weak, right? Like,
I feel like the biggest loser was just the Republican Party overall with this debate because it was just such a mess. And I felt like the conversation, the moderators just let it mire in this total, It was chaotic. The questions were not elevated. The conversation felt like literally a time warp. It's just so much. Yeah, it was just like, woo, woo. And it's, to me, that the whole thing was just out of control. And if I were the RNC, I would just be like, what is going on here? Yeah.
It's a mess.
It's a hot mess. It's a definition of hot mess.
Yeah.
So, Ben Carson for sure just Eeyore'd his way through that. But
So we did the biggest loser. So I would agree that it's the three amigos. I'm going to agree with your previous you. And,
Time warp.
And the biggest winner was Hillary Clinton. I think she won this debate.
oh, really?
CNN's calling it for her.